backyards of those homes. You can see that plastic fence, not wooden but plastic, just melted out of place. You can see how hot that fire is burning. They've got units on the ground with foam, wet water they call it, to get that more saturation to really slow that fire down. You saw some of that agent over there on the left, but there's the left flank. The next thing they'll do, as soon as those homes on the top of Viewcrest Drive near Howard Court are directly out of danger, they're going to start working the flanks, the left flank being the spreading off to the left, off the left flank, and threatening more of these homes on Viewcrest Drive. That's what you see. They're fighting it from the top down and the bottom up, both with the hand crews that are charged to hike up the hill, a really steep hike. But look at these brave firefighters up here with just a hand line as this flame comes marching up the hill very quickly with the wind behind it again, and that the fuel in front of it. They're right in the line there to protect that home, and that's what they do on a daily basis, in the line right between that home to protect it. You can see not a whole lot of defensible space there. Well, a little bit. They got some brush there, but it could go into this gazebo area. And as soon as those structures start to go, the next thing to go is usually the homes. But good tile-roofed homes here. You can see concerned homeowners in the backyard watching very eagerly, very concerned, watching the firefighters do what they do best. But we've seen those fires have several spot fires, very, very large fires within the canyon, making its way up. Again, as soon as they can stop their flames from advancing into the backyards of these homes, they'll start working this left flank, or that flank closest to us. That is Irving Drive below us, the homes on the bottom. Not so concerned with the fire burning back downhill against the wind. The real threat right now is all these homes on Viewcrest Drive as the Augusta Westland 139 comes into place, or Leonardo 139, they just changed the company name, is going to drop some water here. But that is Viewcrest Drive. You can see the engines in place. You can see some of the firefighters running around down there, people backing, getting stuff out of their homes. But look at this precise drop from Fire 2 coming in to lay down probably about 400 to 600, dropping it right in there on that spot, and that is a direct hit. That's exactly what they need to knock this fire down quickly, get these flanks out. Come to the right. Yeah. Oh, it's possible. It depends. If this starts getting up into the terrain, into the mountains, and starts growing around these neighborhoods, they may order up some tankers. We'll see if that happens. If they do, it's going to take some time for them to get out here. But we can see they got the helicopters doing the work right now. But that we haven't seen or heard that tankers have been ordered up yet. But again, the main threat right now, as soon as it kind of runs out of room between this brush, the only way this fire, where it's at right now, is going to grow is if it goes through homes, which is unfortunate, and we don't think it's going to happen. But it's burning right up to the backyards of these homes, running out of fuel, and then they're fighting it at the top of the ridge. Now, as soon as that flank starts to burn to the left, out to the west, but there's the right flank. That's the southeastern flank, if you will, maybe more south than east. But you can see this is where we saw the homes immediately threatened when we first came over. But a lot of concrete, a lot of defensible space on that. It just kind of crowned up right against that deck, and they put that out. But a lot of fires we pull out wide, burning in that canyon right now, but it's burning into the black. So all those fuels between the right and the left flank are burning very heavily, and they're just going to burn themselves out. They don't have anywhere to go. But if you pan left and you push in there and tilt down just a little bit, Rob, if you tilt down, Rob, for me. Yeah, right in that area where this fire is burning, that is burning back against itself. It's got really nowhere to go except burning into the black. So that's burning backwards down the hill and into the fuel, eating up that fuel behind it. But again, it's got the gravity against it, and it's got the wind against it. And those hand crews that were let out by the helicopter are going to take care of that right there. Real concern is the top of Viewcrest Drive near Howard Court, all along Viewcrest Drive, and these are the neighborhoods at or above Irving Drive. The fire started at Hamline Place down on the bottom, very near a very small cul-de-sac down there. Not sure how it happened. It's under investigation right now, but we do see the point of origin down on that street burning up to it. But the unfortunate part, continue burn through the Burbank Hills, and we don't think that's going to happen. We see the I'm going to check the heel. I want to see that heel right there, Rob. Oh, I missed the last part of your question, Leslie. Yeah. Yeah, yeah. Right now we're showing you the heel of the fire. That's the bottom of the fire, right near Irving Drive, where it makes that left sharp turn. They got the hand crews in place trying to protect this home down there. You can see a homeowner off to the left corner of your house putting some garden hose down there, trying to wet that down. We don't think that's good. That's going to go. We think they're okay, especially the hand crews using their hand tools just to kind of dig the fire out here. But as we pull out and tilt up here, we're going to show you what the big picture is. Again, all that fire you see on the bottom right, that's going to burn it into the black, which means it's going to burn the fuel that it's got in front of it, and then it's got nowhere else to burn because it's already burned there. So the big concern is the left flank of this fire, as you see, as it spreads out from the southeast to the northwest, and they just keep hopscotching from one home to the next as they come westbound on Viewcrest Drive, trying to protect each structure as it continues to burn. But we don't believe any structures. You can see it burned around that. That is a greenhouse in the back of that home. You can see a big concrete wall there. That greenhouse, very large greenhouse, is exposed. It looks like it burned some fence line around that tennis court as you tilt down there and some of the trees. But very fortunate so far, because we've seen this fire burn ferociously up this hill and spreading off to the left on that left flank, just continuing to threaten these homes. It starts very small. We'll see a very small spot flame, and all of a sudden it'll catch into a little canyon with a few larger chaparral bushes there, and you'll see it just start to go. And that's what you're concerned about. You just never know when one of those embers are going to get stuck under the eaves or get into an attic. And that's what they're concerned with right now, trying to get the fire cooled down, trying to stop it with that defensible space. But the unaccounted for embers are what they're really worried about. Hour and a half-ish. Reboot the ion again for me, please. Okay. Do you turn the ion off? Okay. The problem is we need to stow the camera to get it going. We can't do that. Nice job. Let's stay west, John. Try reloading it. Yeah, it's not going to let us do anything unless we're stowed, so. What's it, the castaways, right? There? The castaways, I think they call that. Is that right, Jay? The castaways, that's the place up there, right? Yeah, thanks. Well, we'll show you the big picture here and give you an idea. What you see of that street on the bottom, that's Joaquin Drive. We tilt down just a little bit. It could move that flank you see on the top of your screen as we tilt down a little bit. That flank you see on the top of your screen, that's Joaquin Drive, and that is Haven Court that goes up into this neighborhood near Viewcrest. If they don't get a handle on this left flank, which I think they are, they're going to be able to stop it before it gets too far west along Viewcrest Drive, which is what we're showing you now. From Howard Court all the way to Haven. Haven Drive is the concern right now. Seeing a lot more white smoke. Good sign there. Not seeing a lot of flames at the top of the ridgeline. And even better news, that left flank we keep talking about, that northwestern side of the fire. It looks like the water dropping helicopters, both from LA City Fire and LA County Fire, were able to cool that down. We don't see a lot of active flames on that flank, and that's what they were worried about. Really getting this side of the fire contained and cooled down before it had any way to spread closer to our vantage point right now. Now, there's a lot of fire that is burning in the middle of this, between the left and the right flank. That's all fire down in that canyon you can't really see here. They're not worried about that. Yeah, just keep it off. And I'll reset everything here. We're really, unless we're stowed, it's not going to be able to do anything. Nice. Just stay on that right flank, Robbie. They're going to drop on it right now. This is a good spot. You can stay here. Okay. Couldn't turn the mapping back on. I can just use the map itself. Good job. Good job. Thanks. Yeah, it's just the fence melted. It's one of those plastic fences. No. Okay. Tilt down, tilt down. Are you full wide? There you go. That's good. Winds have shifted, huh? They're more out of the south now, aren't they? Oh, just show our truck. That was good. Yeah, much better. Again, the majority of the smoke you're seeing in the middle of the fire, that's burning of all that unburnt brush and chaparral in the middle of the canyon. Again, not too concerned with that until it lifts up to the top of the homes on Viewcrest, but they're really trying to pound that right flank. In fact, there's a flank of fire right now. We pull out, looks like the AW-139 is going to come in and drop on that right now, about 1,000 gallons of water, maybe a little less than that, about 600 gallons. And he got him a little bit short, but he's wetting down that line as it comes in. So they're a little worried about that right flank. In fact, we'll pull out and show you where that can go. If that right flank or that southeastern flank starts to get into that canyon off to the right, look at all that brush, look at all that fuel in there. Again, if that gets into that canyon and starts spreading to the right, if you tilt up, you're going to see all these homes on the eastern edge of Viewcrest Drive are going to be threatened. These homes here, as we pan to the right, all the way to the cul-de-sac on the end. But as we pull out even wider, there's the quarry area up there, and you can see that if it gets around that, up into this canyon, as we tilt up into the hills, well, that's a whole new problem. That becomes a problem. It gets them into these mountains, it gets out into these areas here, and it can become a very big wildfire very quick. From the amount of winds we're seeing what Danny talked about, again, about 10 to 15 miles an hour here, at least up in the air, maybe a little bit more down in those canyons, but not a lot of open flame. Looks like the fire's burning what they call more lazily right now. It's not as charged, not as large, but again, in the canyons, burning very rugged canyons in there with a lot of fuel. It's burning more heavily. Now the firefight and the structure protection continues for at least the 10 or 15 homes, I'd say about 10 homes we see on Viewcrest Drive right around Howard Court. You can't really see them. They're in the smoke there, but those are the homes they're concerned about, as all that unburnt fuel in the middle of that canyon continues to burn, and it continues to make a lot of water being dropped on these helicopters, both from LA City Fire and LA County Fire. They're trying to get that contained. But if we pull out and tilt down, we're going to show you the homes where this fire started. We'll show you the point of origin, and that happened down on Hamline Place. That's that little cul-de-sac you see with all those resources down in there. It started right in this area. Again, the cause is under investigation. It's not certain what caused this fire, but that's the area that it started. And then it just grew from there. As we pull out, you can see all the resources down there, the hand crews that were dropped off by the LA County Fire Helicopter, the LA County camp crews doing their job, trying to get a line around the heel of the fire. But that's the idea of what's happening. It looks much, much better than it did just a few minutes ago. They're doing the hard work down there with the hand tools, trying to get around this fire. Very, very steep terrain. We talked about it before. That's one of the reasons this fire moves so quickly through the area. We're going to keep an eye on it. But again, you guys are right. It looks much, much better. Again, they're not out of the woods yet. Still under mandatory evacuations to these neighborhoods, but they're not out of the woods yet, but definitely a better progress throughout the area. And you know what? We're going to pan back to the left just for a second, guys. Sorry about that. We're going to show you Irving Drive. Tilt down for me, Rob, just a little bit. Tilt down. No more. There you go. That's Irving Drive. Now, all of a sudden, these homes are on the left heel of the fire, the left flank. All of a sudden, these homes are kind of getting, because the wind shifted just a little bit. It's out of the southwest. It's shifted to the south just a little bit more. So you can see that those flames are now becoming a threat to these homes. But again, burning very slow, very lazily, and has to burn downhill. Yeah, some call it foam, some call it wet water. It's an agent that they can put actually into the engines and mix into the water that it penetrates the fuels more efficiently, makes it harder to catch fire. So that fire in that area was burning very very hot when we first came over. Those flames were at least 20 to 40 feet in the air. So that may be one of the reasons they put that mixture into the engine's tanks to try to cool that down more. Because what they don't want to do, they don't want a very small fire to actually start up again and then jump that canyon behind them and get into that canyon and start running up to the hill like we showed you before. But it's a very good tool they use in these fires when they have the time to add it, and apparently that crew with that engine had the time to get into the tanks and get it mixed in, and that's going to do nothing but help. We haven't seen any of that over here yet, but that may be just a matter of what they had on board and the time they had to actually add it. What do you want? Which one? Oh, on a scanner. Okay. 19975. No, it should be in band. Try it again. 119.975. Um, it can, but we just need to stow the camera to do it. It just if you guys can give me a cut away from us for 30 seconds, we can try it. Yep. Okay. Okay, it's in. Well, again, I think the flanks are looking very good, but all that unburnt fuel in the middle of that canyon that Danny talked about, that bowl in there, the winds are just circling up in there, and the fire's kind of circling around in there. What becomes a problem is we tilt up and pan to the right. You're going to see right in there, we're hoping that most of the fuels down in there, we can't really see because of the smoke, have burned up. But as soon as they start climbing up that ridge line, again, the protection of those homes on ViewQuest Drive, that's the big problem. But we think the majority of that fuel has already been spent. So what's happening right now in the bowl off to the left in that canyon, all that unspent chaparral and brush is burning, but they really want to control the flanks. Here we're looking at the southeast flank of the fire. They want to get that controlled and getting it cooled down, getting it knocked down, getting lines. In fact, we panned back to the left to look at the heel of the fire. This is actually burning up the hill back towards the foothills here between Irving Drive and on the ridgeline above those homes. It looks a lot closer to those homes because of the angle that we're showing you. But that is the issue right now where the hand crews are trying to contain the heel of the fire. Well, it looks very good, much better, David, than it did just an hour ago. This started in the area of the 1000 block of Hamline Place, a very small cul-de-sac, and it basically got into a very steep terrain with a lot of fuel behind it and about 10 to 15 miles an hour winds. We're going to pull out and give you a little bit bigger picture to show you. It ran up this hillside very, very quickly and threatened several homes, at least 10 to 15 homes in the area of Viewquest Drive near Howard Court. The acreage right now is unclear, but for my guesstimation, we're looking at about maybe 20 to 50 acres, maybe a little bit less than that. But right now, those are the homes that were immediately threatened. When we first came overhead in Air 7 HD, we saw the flames just piling up that ridge line, threatening these homes into the yards. We saw residents in the backyards with hoses and buckets from their pools trying to dump water on the hillside, cool down the brush. But then we saw the helicopters came in. The LA City Fire and LA County Fire helicopters came in, saved the day. Engine structure protection on the front yards of those homes, got their hand lines in the backyards of those homes. Were able to get water and protect these homes. An amazing job by firefighters here to save those homes so far. The firefight far from over as they continue to fight it. We'll keep you updated. He's down on Hamline. Yep, right there. That's the flame he's shooting. What? Okay. Okay, go ahead and stow it up. Stow it. Turn off sky map. It's off. Turn it off. Okay. Let me reboot here. Okay. Turn it on. Get a little bit of speed here, Rob. Sorry, John. You just go back and forth. Get a little speed. I can't hear you, dude.